All right, we are live here on the Unadvised X Sports Animal YouTube and the Sports Animal Facebook. I am Preston Poole alongside Tyler Adams Teabag as he yawns. He is exhausted. Running on fumes is what he said.
This is where champions are made, Preston. This is why I get paid the little bucks. Is days like today.
Hey, look, I'm sure it was a long night for a lot of people in the Oklahoma City area. It was. I got home. We wrapped up Thunder stuff at like 1 p.m. So I was driving home. Got home like 1:30 and played a little Xbox before I had tornado sirens blowing on around me. So, by the way, thoughts and prayers to everyone who was affected by that. I live in Moore. That tornado was like on the other side of town from me though. So thoughts and prayers to everyone, in Hera as well too. So it's never an easy thing to take on. So thoughts and prayers to all them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't even realize there was tornadoes until this morning.
Really?
Well, because I was just checked out yesterday. So yeah, I had a wedding on Friday for a college buddy. So all the college buddies back in town. Obviously, late night there. Wake up to Stillwater. I took it easy in Stillwater because I had to do the post game show, which that delay was just awful. Just having to live through that and just know the inevitable end to what was going to happen. Then I stayed in Stillwater last night with my college buddies at old college. So guys that were in our fraternity that were freshmen that are now seniors.
Oh wow!
we decided to crash with them instead of getting the $800 hotel room, and they brought out the college days back in us because with the time change and all. So I went to bed at 4, so it was really 5 a.m. And woke up this morning to one of their moms making coffee for all of us, and have not slept since. Was driving friends to and from the airport today in the rain. Watching Bears game on my phone, which I finally turned that bleep show off after a while. Yeah, I mean it's just been a long weekend. When this show ends, I'm going to bed. Sunday night football. Don't care. Don't care tonight. I need to go to bed. I'm on like 11 hours of sleep all weekend.
I do not blame you. I do have to ask though. You tweeted a picture of a pool table last night. It looked like there had been a lot of things spilled on it, and I'm almost 100% sure that not all of it was alcohol that was spilled on that table.
Yeah, and you put a sign on a pool table saying no drinks to the pool table. You think people would follow it.
Yeah.
Especially drunk college kids, right? You would think they would. I walked by that last night and I literally did a double take. I was like, oh my gosh. I took a picture and I put that one up on the X. It was a disgusting night in Stillwater. Rain, football, we'll get into all of it. It was, as we know, just bad.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some college football. And look, we'll start off with Oklahoma beating Maine. I'd like to sit here and break down this game for you for 20, 30 minutes, kind of like we normally do. But Teabag, it's Maine. They beat the hell out of them like they were supposed to. I mean, there's not really much to take away from this game. It was the worst team technically on their schedule. And they're going to play 3 of the toughest games. Well, 2 of the toughest games on their schedule. Missouri obviously isn't as good as what we had previously thought before the season started. So there's just not much to take away from this game other than it's nice to see that the offense actually can score points against another football team, even though that the football team isn't up to the competition they've been playing. So not much for me really to take away from this ball game.
Yeah, Javonte Barnes, happy for him because he's had a brutal season, but no fault of his. Victim of a bad offensive line play.
Yeah,
bad offensive coordinator at the beginning of the year. Also, it's going to be absolutely hilarious if the Eagles blow this game.
Yeah, that is.
We'll talk NFL, but it's going to be. I got on my phone and it's going to be hilarious. So happy for Javonte Barnes that he was finally able to, actually have a good rushing day. He went over 200, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, man, 0 minutes I watched.
Yeah.
It was a plus. I was
blame
driving to Stillwater. Yeah, that's my breakdown of it. It was the Maine Black Bears.
That is actually a very good breakdown because Maine
Shout
goes
out 7-0 though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That they go up 7-0 after OU punts on their first drive. They go down the field, score, and then the floodgates just opened for Oklahoma on offense, and they scored at will really for the rest of the game. So Missouri up next for the Sooners, and then they'll take on Alabama at home, and then LSU on the road. I think
Do they have a bye week?
I think there's a bye week mixed in.
I think after Missouri, because OU and OC both have a bye week the same week, and I think it's after this upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Which bye week for the last 2 games of the season? Having a bye week before the last 2 games of the season.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I get every team has 2 this year because of the way the Saturdays have all lined up in the calendar, but you'd think you'd want to use one like September, then maybe late October or something.
Yeah. Yeah. After this week, maybe take a bye and you have 3 games left or something like that. But so the Sooners will have 3 more games left this season with the bye week mixed in there as well. So again, they move on at Missouri next week. They're a 4-point dog at Missouri, which is kind of shocking. So
Missouri's not good.
Yeah, that is true. Missouri isn't good, but now there is Oklahoma against good competition. So
that's true.
All right, let's talk about Oklahoma State losing to Arizona State 42-21. What I put here on our topic sheet was just woof. That's the vibes that I'm getting from this football team right now. Is just woof, disgusting. And I didn't watch a whole bunch of this game because I was driving up to the station when it started again out of halftime, so I didn't really get to see the third quarter. And by the time I had it on, it was already basically done for by Arizona State. But I mean, give me your thoughts on this game.
I mean, it's just again the defense is just absolutely god awful, pathetic. I mean, the offense has issues of their own. The offense is an issue. But the defense at this point is just so I don't think I've ever seen a defense this bad ever at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's not really saying a lot because the defense is just, I mean, they're statistically right now the worst defense in the country. That's where we're at, Preston. The defense is that bad.
Out of 130 something schools. Yeah.
I knew the game was over yesterday in the second quarter before the rain delay, whenever it was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. And Arizona State was going back to pass their quarterback. What's his last name? I can't even think. All I know is Scattaboo. That guy's gonna live in my mind rent free forever.
I'm gonna say Scattaboo's probably
Sam Levitt was going back. He gets wrapped up once, breaks. He gets wrapped up again, breaks it. Then he gets Kendall Daniels going in for a tackle, and it was just terrible. One of the worst efforts I've ever seen. Then the next play. So he scrambles out of 3 sacks to get 4th and short, 4th and 1. Next play, they do a screen pass to Cam Scattaboo, and that's where I realized that the defense has officially quit because if you just go back and watch it, they're literally just jogging. They have the angle to meet him, between the 10-yard line and the goal line. They have the angle to meet him, but they're just I'd rather let him score and me get off the field because they're literally just jogging. That's when I knew the game was over. It was only 14-7 or something at that point. But that's what I was like, this defense just sucks, and they quit. And that's a terrible combination to have.
Do you think that Gundy has lost the locker room at this point in the season?
For this season, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's I don't think maybe necessarily he's lost the locker room maybe going forward in the future. But I think at this point in the season, it's they're
Who
just,
the hell
cares? No one knows. Everyone knows they're not any good. And there's not much you can do at this point. Nardo's scheme, I don't know. Maybe there's been a Gundy explanation. I've just missed it. But Nardo's scheme's gotten switched up from the 4-2-5 or the 3-3-5 to the 4-2-5 or whatever it is. My brain isn't working right now. They switched that up, so that's probably just a confidence issue from coaching down to the players. It's enough about this game, honestly, Preston, right now, because it's time we need to start asking the bigger picture questions. Yeah. We're at that point. We are at that point. I'm not ready to say fire Mike Gundy, because that's, in my opinion, that's just crazy to say. Is to fire the best coach that's ever been at your program. That's one of the best coaches in college football over the last 20 years, and that won 10 games last year. It's, in my mind, that's crazy to say. But you do need to have the conversation. What does this look like going forward? What does this look like going forward?
Do you think he should have already fired at least one of the coordinators? Because we've seen, but you see teams like step up a little bit. Yeah.
Teams that are doing that, mainly coaches like on the hot seat or entering the hot seat. Venables necessarily isn't on the hot seat, but he's getting there. Like he's close to it. Malzahn's on the hot seat. So yeah, like we've seen that, but I think if you're a coach who doesn't need to do that, I don't think it's going to do any good especially at this point. I get fans are going to get mad about that, and I've been very critical of the Oklahoma State fan base and the way they behave this season. But I'm at the point now to like feel how you want. Just feel how you want. Like I get it. Like I'm getting to that point now where I try to be like the calm, cool, collected guy about this whole situation. Like I know how bad it's been. I mean, if you listen, I've never once denied how bad it is. I mother effed him a few times on this show, on the Morning Animals, on Twitter. I've done my fair share of that. But when it comes to just like the rationale side of it, like fans just feel how you want at this point, because they haven't lost 6 games in conference. They haven't started 0-6 in conference since like 2000. There's a chance. Think about Oklahoma State football outside kind of like the 80s, really, and a couple of years in the 70s. There's really not much to show for it. Starting in 1950, I know there's the 45 team that went undefeated, and there's some good teams back then. But let's just start in 1950. Obviously, not a tremendous success. Pat Jones and Jimmy Johnson have some good teams in the 80s. Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, Hartley Dykes, Mike Gundy, some pretty good teams. Leslie O'Neal, and then but outside of that, it just really hasn't been that good. But only one time have they lost 9 games in a season, or 2 times have they lost 9 games in a season.
Really,
this year could be the 3rd time in program history they lose 3 games in a season, or 9 games in a season. That is where we're at with this program. It is awful. It is genuinely so bad. And Preston, like, I know OU fans feel like this, and I know Alabama fans feel like this, and I know Georgia fans feel like this. Like, you go into every game and you're like, we're going to win because we're Oklahoma. We're going to win because we're Alabama. Even if OU's bad or something, you still like, we're Oklahoma. Like, you have that confidence because of who you are. The way I've grown up, really outside of a Bedlam game, I go into a game going, Oklahoma State's going to win this game because they're over the last 15 years, they're the second best program in the Big 12. Now Oklahoma and Texas are gone. You should walk in every game confident. Every game I've gone in and be like, they're going to win this week. They're just going to do it. They're going to win this week. After Utah, I said they're going to win. Kansas State, I said they're going to win. West Virginia, I said they're going to win. BYU, I said they're going to win.
Yeah.
Whatever the game was, like Baylor, I said they're going to win. Yesterday, I was telling my friends, like, they're going to do it today. Like, it's homecoming, throwback uniforms. They're going to do it today. And now I'm because I have that confidence that Oklahoma State, when Arizona State comes to town, when West Virginia comes to town, when you're on the road in Waco, Oklahoma State fans have that expectation to win that game because they've done it year in and year out for so damn long. And they're 0-6 in conference play, and they're not going to make a bowl game. I mean, I know if they went out there to make a bowl game, guys, they're not making a bowl game. I know no one's arguing me. I'm arguing my inner self. I know no one's arguing that they're going to make a bowl game. Like, oh, don't T-Bag, they're going to win out. It's bad. Like, it's truly bad. And you got to start asking the big picture questions, because going back to, I'm not going to say fire Mike Gundy, but Mike Gundy doesn't need to address the fan base, because that's just not, it's not going to happen. Everything, Mike Gundy owes us an explanation. Sure, theoretically,
well, and
whatever.
Not to mention, T-Bag, he's going to say something stupid that pisses people off anyways, because that's what he always does.
But let the people just do it. Like, let the administration do it. Let Gundy do it. Let Weiberg do it. Let Shrum do it. Let the boosters, get, all that. But there does need to be a sit-down conversation. And Mike, where is this program heading? Because in your last 31 games, you're 15-16. In your last 31 football games, you're 15-16. With multiple blowout losses, couple 40-point plus losses, 5 30-point losses, 2 losses this season blown out by 20 at home, a 25-point loss to South Alabama at home. It's been real outside of a 5-game stretch last year. That was just, it happened, and you have to give them credit because they went up and they did it. outside of a 5-game stretch last year, the last 3 seasons has been really, really pathetically bad. And
Yeah.
you have to sit down and ask, where is this program heading? Because it doesn't look good right now. There's no there's no hope for the future. You can tell me how great Zane Flores is and how good he's going to be next year. Who's he going to throw the ball to? Who's going to hand the ball off to? Who's going to be blocking for him? Who's going to be playing defense? There's nothing there. It needs to be addressed, and it has to be addressed immediately once this season ends. It is the lowest this program has been in my lifetime, and I think I just haven't accepted reality until yesterday going in today, and I just can't believe how bad it has gotten, especially when returning 19 starters from a team that won 10 games last year.
Especially with
You
one
could
of the
at
best
least go
offensive
7-5
lines
and make
too.
a bowl game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you could at least go 7-5 and make a GD bowl game?
Yeah. No, I'm completely with you.
Like,
It's crazy to think that Mike Gundy has letting it get to the point it is now at Oklahoma State, right? Because he was good for, so many years in a row, and then I didn't even know that stat of the last 31 games that you just brought up. That's insane to me to sit here and
and they've
think
lost by
that.
40 a couple
Yeah,
times along with that.
that's crazy. So, we'll see. I mean, for you, what would you do next? What do you think Oklahoma State needs to do next to fix this stuff heading into next season?
I think you got to, outside of Mike Gundy, you got to clean house at every coaching position. I mean, now
Yeah,
the GA, like some GAs and stuff. Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying like all 100, whatever, because there's so many staff members now.
like the
But I mean,
major spots.
I mean, there's coaches on that. There's assistant coaches on that team that have been there for 10 years. Just
Yeah,
been nice, solid assistant coaches, and I think everyone's just gotten complacent. And I think outside of Mike Gundy, you just have to clean house and bring in some young guns that are fired up and ready to, make a name for all themselves. I think that's what you have to do. I think I if it doesn't happen, my tune really might start changing on Mike Gundy. If he doesn't do that.
I
I hate calling
I
for people's jobs and livelihoods. I get that. They make plenty of money. Like they're gonna be like they make plenty of money, guys. Like
yeah, no, they'll
they're
be
not
fine.
broke or anything. Like even the assistant coaches making $300,000-$400,000 a year living in Stillwater. That money could go a long way. So it sucks saying that. And that's part of the business is in this business press you see them more as people than coaches, like a fan does. And I'm a
Yeah,
fan, but like being in like business and stuff, you realize like these are people more than like just a football coach. And compared to so and so's burner account on Twitter, but man, like I think that's just where you have to go. I think you have to completely clean house because everywhere is bad.
yeah. He needs to get, like you said, some young coaches who have the fire inside them and that know how to recruit their asses off. Because that's you can say NIL, all this other stuff, but Oklahoma State should still be a top 25 recruiting class every single year, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
and everyone always says like, people are like, oh, it's Stillwater, it's hard to recruit to Stillwater. It's like, yeah, okay, I know what Stillwater is. I'm very aware that Stillwater's a
You ever
small
been to
town in
Auburn, Alabama?
North
Like, come
Ames,
on.
yeah, Lubbock, Texas, Auburn,
Yeah.
Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Oxford, Mississippi. I mean, let's not. I mean, Norman's a bigger, nicer city than Stillwater, but it's not. Let's not act like it's Austin,
No, I
Texas,
mean, the
or
only thing is
Los
it's
Angeles,
close. It's
California.
close to Oklahoma City. That's the
Yeah, and
only.
it's a little
Yeah,
bit bigger. Yeah,
yeah,
like I don't want it. Most college towns, State College, Pennsylvania, that's in the middle of freaking nowhere. That's 4 hours from any
yeah,
major city. I don't get that narrative. I don't. I think that's such a cop out of an excuse to why you can't recruit good because 90% of college football teams deal with that exact same thing.
yeah. No, one hundred
So
percent. And Stillwater's not a bad place to be in, and they have the
and you're 3.5 hours
especially
from Dallas. You can mom and
exactly.
dad can drive up to every game. You can drive home on the weekends and stuff. Like you're in a hot spot for recruiting.
Well, and you sit and think about it, because the kids they're recruiting now are, obviously younger than you, but and you say, all you've known is basically Mike Gundy and at Oklahoma State your whole life. What
Mm-hmm.
do you think that they've seen? I mean, they've seen Oklahoma State, win all these games, as young kids growing up.
Yeah. Having college
Why
game day
would they?
there, Herbstreit and
Exactly.
Fowler calling big games, top 10 showdowns, beating Texas. beating OU in a couple big games. Like they've seen some like really big Oklahoma, some pretty solid NFL players too. Like
Yeah.
it's everything's got to be fixed. Everything has to change. Like
Yeah.
whatever they're doing, do something new. And Mike Gundy's earned the right to try and do that. He just has.
Yeah.
So if you're calling for Mike Gundy's head or something, I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I'm not going to tell you how to feel on that. I'm done doing that. I'll just say this. You're just going to – it's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's wishful thinking. The only prayer people have is that Mike Gundy has maybe looked himself in the mirror and say, okay, maybe I still have it anymore. I gotta retire, resign, for the benefit of Oklahoma State football.
Yeah. No. We'll see. We'll see what happens. What do they have left on their schedule here this season?
TCU, Tech, and Colorado.
So they got three games left. We'll see what they can get done there. But not the football season fans had hoped here in the state of Oklahoma this season. Outside of UCO, shout out them, the number one team in the MIAA right now. So they won yesterday. So all right, let's get into some other college football. I don't know how much of these games you caught yesterday since you were up in Stillwater and doing stuff. South Carolina beats Texas A&M. How about the Gamecocks, man?
I was able to watch a lot of that one, yeah.
And they smack around the Aggies. They beat them, 44 to 20 or something like that. What a win for Shane Beamer.
Yeah, and right when we think A&M figured out their quarterback situation for the sixth time this season,
yeah,
we're all insane as college football fans for being like, oh, A&M's quarterback situation is fixed because they played one great quarter or something.
Yeah,
and then Marcel Reed goes out and just doesn't play good at all yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that was a big time. I mean, definition of just set up for failure for A&M, kind of coming off this hot streak, everyone's telling you how good and pretty you are, and then you roll into Columbia, South Carolina at night to play the hungry Gamecocks and
lay an egg.
Did not go good. This did not go good.
It couldn't happen to a better program, though. I will say that. Shout out Texas A&M, that cult down there in College Station. 44-20, the final score in that one. How about one of the Big 12's unbeatens going down at home? Texas Tech beats Iowa State 23-22 yesterday. The Big 12 is chaos.
Yeah, and I'm not part of it, and it's not fun. I want to be part of the chaos.
You're like the
I miss the days of being heartbroken and sad compared to just mad and angry.
You're the meme of the guy looking into the room or whatever it is, and everyone's having fun, and you're like,
yeah, everyone's just
Squidward up in his house.
Arizona State is now very much alive for the Big 12.
Yeah,
all of a sudden it's they're just coming this this sneaky 5-2, and here they come. When yesterday a couple teams lose and they're 6-2, and I don't think they control their own destiny, but I think if they went out, I think there's a really good chance they could get in there. So, yeah, man. I mean, Big 12 is just absolute chaos. K-State lost too.
Houston, 24-19. The Cougars beat them.
All 10 fans stormed the field. I don't know if you saw that.
There's
literally imagine a Houston football game, Preston, just how no one is in the stands, and they stormed the field. And I'm not kidding, maybe I don't even think they covered up the logo, the 50-yard line logo. I don't even think they had enough fans to make that thing completely covered up when they stormed the field. The saddest field storming I've ever seen.
That's pretty funny. All right, what else happened here? I had this. Ohio State beats Penn State 20-13. Ohio State fans were ready to fire everyone in the first half, and they come back and win. There's a couple of fan bases where Philadelphia Eagles fans, Ohio State fans, and there's a couple more, but every single time that they're down by a touchdown in the first half, it's always everyone needs to be fired. We need to clean house, blah, blah, X, Y, and Z sucks, yada, yada, yada. And then they end up winning. And it's you guys really just did all that on social media and all the bitching and moaning for absolutely nothing when you still have a really good football team. I can't stand it.
Yeah. And Penn State fans are getting pretty antsy too with their coach because
Yeah.
1-11 versus
Well, he
Ohio
can't beat any. He can't beat
1-10.
any top ranked
You
teams.
can't
Yeah.
beat any top ranked teams, and you're kind of if you're Penn State, like I get if you're a Penn State fan, you want them fired because you're delusional. Like all college football fans are delusional. Like, hey Ken, good luck making a bowl game too, buddy. All college football fans are crazy in their own mind. Like
Yeah.
everyone, like Oklahoma State fans, what Mike Gundy fired. OU fans, what so and so fired after this or whatever.
But that's
And
also because like the teams are like bad. I'm talking like when the
Well,
teams are good and people are still wanting people fired.
Well, yes. But with Penn State fans, like they want Franklin fired, which I get because he can't win the big games.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you're going 10-2 every year, like it's kind of hard to let that go. Like,
That's what Penn State is, though. Like they've never been like just a big, massive powerhouse.
I mean, with Joe Paterno, they had some big seasons here and there, but that was also
like
a different era and stuff.
Consistent thing, yeah.
That's kind of where I'm going. It's like if I'm a Penn, like if I'm seeing this from an unbiased outsider, I don't care for Penn State. I don't hate them. I don't like them. Like whatever. James Franklin is pretty good to have around going 10-2 every year.
Yeah.
And it's like if you fire him, is there better out there for you? Because Penn State, I don't know, I'm not some Penn State expert, but I've always kind of heard this about the Penn State job. Out of all like the big time jobs to have out of the blue bloods and the secondary, schools, and Penn State's kind of that secondary. They're not a blue blood, but they're in that tier 2, and the top 5-6 programs. I've heard it's one of the harder places to like recruit to because like we just said with the Stillwater stuff, it's very like State College is like very isolated. It's a very isolated program. It's hard to recruit against Ohio State and Michigan and Columbus, Ohio, and Ann Arbor, Michigan, and those traditions there. And James Franklin has done a pretty good job for that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with them because I'm also not going to be shocked if they fire him because he cannot win the big games.
Yeah. We'll see. That was their first loss of the season. So they've, I would say they've got a good chance of making the Big Ten championship game, but with Ohio State and then Oregon, obviously still on a roll as well. They'll probably be on the outside looking in, but I could see them still sneaking into the playoffs. They should be one of the top 12 teams in the country. So we shall see. There was another game on here. How about Indiana? 9-0. They're rolling. They're in the top 10 now. How about the Hoosiers?
Love them. Kirk Cinetti. They play. Is it? Oh, this week is Ohio State.
Let me check.
Week? They play them in the next 2 weeks. I know that.
They play. So they play Michigan this week and Ohio State the week after.
And
maybe
Clemson
they have a
also.
bye.
Clemson also just completely blowing it all for themselves last night.
Yeah.
I was so bought in on them. I was like, oh, watch out for Clemson. Watch out for Clemson. Then boop, laying it.
Yeah.
And then our guy, Lincoln Riley, for the 5th time this season, said it's gone from we're 1 play away from being undefeated to 2 plays away to 3 plays away to 4 plays away. Last night we're 5 plays away from being undefeated and having everyone talk about how good we are.
Yeah.
That's not how football works, man.
Nope.
It's a game of inches.
Nope.
It's not how it works. And it's so funny because it's funny because I know we've talked about this before. Even when he was an OC at OU, and it wasn't because I'm an OSU fan and it was like the Bedlam rivalry thing. I didn't like him from like day one when I saw the way he was like interviewing and nothing's his fault and the reporters asking hard questions. Oklahoma media is not hard. He treated all of them like shit. It's like he was just an a-hole from day one. Like
yes,
everything. And when I tell you like. Whenever OU lost under Lincoln Riley, it was I took so much joy in it, not because OU lost, but because
Lincoln Riley lost.
And he was such a clown. Like the first thing I did after Bedlam 21, like right before he went to USC, obviously before we knew, I went home and I watched his press conference. I wanted to hear him just cry all night about oh we're so close, we were 1 play away from winning that game, and now it's like Terminator meme like. Teabag OU fans, coming together. I take so much joy in Lincoln Riley losing and just watching his post. I still just like love watching his post game press conferences and just the excuse making he makes. It is so freaking comical. And last night, I just cannot believe. I can believe it, but I cannot believe it. They've lost 5 games now, and he's like, "We're right there. We're right there, guys." It's like, dude, you're 4-5.
Yeah.
You're 4.
Well, and if you remember,
I was talking about Oklahoma State, and they're 3-6. You know, that's
yeah,
only 1 game difference.
they he always said that though. We're close. We're close. It's like, no, dude, you're not close.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And then one reporter will ask a tough question. Media access off, no practice, no media availability. You guys are so mean to me because sweetheart Barry Trammell was like, "Hey, yeah, like, what were you guys thinking on this 4th down play?" You know, it's like, gosh, he's such a douche.
Yeah, no, he definitely. I know. Obviously, you work with Kerry. He got into a little heat back when Riley was here for using a word to describe him, but that is how you would describe Lincoln Riley. That douchebag or the other word. So
yeah, it's just woe is me. Nothing's my fault. And,
yeah.
I want. I don't think it's gonna happen this year. Is there SEC Big Ten bowl game? Because like OU and USC playing in the bowl game and having Kerry Murdoch just storm into that press conference with all the Sooner Scoop guys would be the most glorious thing in the world.
It'd be like the battle scene in Anchorman.
Yeah, Kerry talks about how that's his dream. He's like, Lincoln can't kick me out of that press conference. He's got no control there.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Ask him the hardest questions imaginable.
Oh yeah. And he just wouldn't answer them probably. All right, anything else in college football before we get into the NFL?
Chaos continues.
Yes, it definitely does.
Neither of us really get to be a part of it, and it sucks.
Yes, which you
can play spoiler. You can play spoiler still.
They're gonna
if they beat Alabama or LSU, they officially eliminate them from the playoff.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I know, but at least you can play spoiler to someone. I guess OSU can play spoiler to Colorado. That would be this year.
That would be hilarious.
If
Colorado
they did that,
comes down to the end of the season, Colorodo's chance
to get into the Big 12 championship against a 3-8 Oklahoma State team.
That would be pretty funny.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You gotta admit. All right, let's get into the NFL, some scores and all these games. Yeah, not a good time. Let's just go ahead and start with my team, the Chargers. They played early this morning against the Browns. Justin Herbert, what a quarterback, what a guy. The offense has finally turned around. The defense for the Chargers is electric. They go out, they win 27-10. J.K. Dobbins is a stud as well. So if you're a Chargers fan right now, you got to be pretty happy with the direction the team's going in. 5-3 on the season. And Herbert really, I mean, I like to look at like the stats to help me, feel better about my team. But Justin Herbert's been the best player in the NFL over the last 2-3 weeks. He's like graded out, whatever. I forget who does the grades, but he's been the highest graded player overall the last 2 or 3 weeks. So he's lighting it up, and they're playing good.
Yeah, and our guy Jameis Winston did not play good today
at all. 3 interceptions and a fumble. But look, that defense for the Chargers is pretty good.
Yeah. I was going to say he didn't really have much time passing the ball and stuff either. I had that game kind of on the Resident channel, so I didn't really get to watch it all too intimately. But I mean, Chargers are just tough, just one of those tough SOB teams where, they might make you mad 1 week press. I know, like, there's been some weeks where you've just wanted to, just thrown the towel on them, but they're just going to keep fighting.
I can't quit Jim Harbaugh. I can't quit him.
No, and that's why I'm here, because I'm gonna keep you in check with the Chargers, with Jim Harbaugh.
Someone on YouTube says, "How old is Herbert?" He's been in the league. This is like 4th or 5th year now, I think. 4th year.
2020.
2020 is when he got drafted. So
he's like 25, 26, probably.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So pretty young still. All right, how about the this one? I'm trying to find the noon games. They're listed differently here on this website. Cowboys and Falcons. Woof, the Cowboys stink. They lose to the Falcons 27-21. Dak got hurt, CeeDee Lamb got hurt, and there has to be zero hope for the Cowboys going forward at all. They're just bad.
Dak said on the sideline, he said, "We bleeping suck."
Yeah.
He got caught in 4K, just full on selling Trey Lance. This team is so bad. Yeah, the Cowboys are not any good. I take a little joy in it, I will say.
Everyone has to.
Yeah. You got to kind of soak in these moments. Like the Jerry Jones post game comments are just amazing to watch. But yeah, the Cowboys are just not good. It's not good at all.
At all. They said on YouTube, "Be glad Jerry isn't coming on your show." Good thing he couldn't fire us, so I think we could say what we wanted to.
This reminded me. I was talking about buddies this morning. We all went to lunch before we left Stillwater, and I said, like, they're like, Teabag, like, how much? Or they call me Tyler, but they're like, how much money to like get you to go to Mike's press conference and just go to him and just say, yeah, Mike, like, what the hell, man? And I was like, that would take a substantial, like,
yeah.
We yes, we need to collect some good money for me to go do that.
Pay my salary for a year because I'm going to be without a job.
But one of my friends was like, yeah, it'd be out of a job. I was like, I don't think I'd be out of a job because OSU and the sports animal have no like affiliation together. If I went to a Thunder press conference when they're, doing, which they're not doing, anything disappointing, but if they were and did that, it could get a little iffy, doing something like that. I would lose my OSU credentials. That's for sure.
Be on the banned list for the stadium.
That just reminded me because they all want me to go to the press conference and literally just say, "Hey, Mike, yeah, what the hell, man?" That's all they want me to ask.
That's funny. But yeah, the Cowboys are in disarray. Look, I've said it multiple times. They're gonna have to fire Mike McCarthy, and things things aren't going to change until Jerry Jones hands over the reins of the organization to someone else. I mean, that's just how it's going to work. All right, how about the Dolphins and the Bills? The Bills win that one 30-27. The big takeaway from this one, whenever Tua runs with the football, the announcers just go, "Oh no, here we go." Like, that's what they say.
Yeah, Josh Allen remains owning the Dolphins because it looks like the Dolphins, could have won that game. And Josh Allen just said, "Nope, I am ending your season right here, right now. No more hope for you guys."
Yeah,
and what he did. He absolutely owns the Dolphins.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that whole like division we were kind of thinking, Jets, Dolphins, Bills heading into the season. Now it's like, well, it's just the Bills because the Patriots stink and so do the rest of the teams. So, all right, the Raiders and the Bengals. The Bengals finally getting it going, although the Raiders do stink. The Bengals win 41-24. Joe Burrow had like 6 touchdowns in this game, I think. 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. He had a pick 6, but other than that, he played a freaking great game.
So he did have 6 touchdowns then. Just one for the defense.
Technically.
Who was it? Mike Gesicki, the tight end. I'm trying to find how many receiving yards he had because he had 2 touchdowns, 100 receiving yards. That's the first time Mike Gesicki has, done that in years, probably since early back when he was with the Dolphins a few years ago. So haven't heard his name in a while. That was cool to see. Any other thoughts from that one? The Bengals, still don't know what to think about the Bengals.
They beat the bad teams, and then when the good teams come up, so it's like I can't decide if they're good or not.
Yeah, no, 100%. Let's see. The Patriots and the Titans, the bowl game to see who's going to get the first overall pick. The Titans win that one 20-17. Even though the Patriots tried their hardest. Drake May threw that touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson to send it to overtime, but then throws an interception in overtime to seal the game, and the Titans win.
It was honestly kind of like the perfect game for the Patriots fans because
like
Drake
they showed
May
fight and all that. Yeah,
they showed fight. Drake May had that great game tying touchdown, which they should have gone for 2. I think in that situation you just try to go for 2 instead of having to go to overtime and see what happens. You just got a 15-second play game tie or to go down 1 or whatever, game tying, extra point pending touchdown. I think that's kind of the perfect time to go for 2 in that situation. Just try to seal it while you got the defense on their heels and stuff. But Drake May didn't look great, but he still keeps showing those flashes that you're like, okay, we can build off this. We can build off this.
Yeah.
Once we get a competent O-line, wide receivers, and probably a new head coach. So it's kind of the perfect game for the Patriots because they still lost. You can still get a high draft pick, and your quarterback looked decent.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. How about another quarterback that looks pretty decent? The Commanders and Jaden Daniels take down the New York Football Giants 27-22. He just keeps doing it. I mean, this kid just wins football games for the Commanders. He's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am. I'm still in on Caleb. I'm still
Yeah.
on Caleb, but it's hard to.
No, I think Caleb is still
After
good
last week,
too,
yeah,
but yeah.
it's just I'm having to hear. I mean, when I say I'm having to hear, it's not like I have just a bunch of Commanders fans in my DMs because I'm not known as like the Bears guy or anything.
Yeah.
Uh, but it is hard looking at Twitter all the time and be like, oh, Jaden Daniels, look at this, look at that, and I'm rooting for him. Like I'm glad that Washington fans are actually done with the Dan Snyder era and have a very competent organization now, something they can be proud of. But yeah, I mean, they look really good, and I'm going through it.
And now, how about a team that does not look really good at all? That's the New Orleans Saints as they lose to the Carolina Panthers, 23-22. The Saints now enter the fight for the number one pick. Right now, it's the Patriots, Titans, Saints, and Panthers that are all hanging around 2 wins. So yeah, I mean, the Saints are just they won those first 2 games of the season. They tricked a lot of people into thinking they were going to be good, and now they just suck.
Yeah, and shout out Chuba Hubbard, game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, I did see that.
Saints are just awful. Remember when we thought they were so good for beating the Cowboys?
Yeah, beat the hell out of the Cowboys, and then I forget the other game that they won, and then since then they just have not beaten anybody.
Who did they play?
They've went on a 7-game losing streak, so they are not good.
No, wait, no, that's the Falcons. What am I doing here? Wrong NFC South team. Who did the Saints play with? This is going to drive me crazy. Okay, hold on. I got it right here. They beat. Oh, it's the Panthers.
Oh, okay. So then the Panthers get him back here.
Yeah, the Panthers get back. They avenged a 47-10 loss.
Well, good for the Panthers and
Yeah.
Bryce Young. Good for Bryce Young getting in and playing and winning a football game, man. Because
yeah, he had a pass today. It was like a screen that I legitimately think I could have thrown a better screen than he did. Like it was just a screen, and he threw it like 5 yards away from him, just straight out of bounds. Like, oh my god,
man, I feel bad for him, dude, because it's just
yeah.
He was never going to succeed in Carolina when they drafted him there.
So. Hey, Saints still won the aggregate between the 2 scores. So
okay, well there you go.
Yeah. Bragging rights.
All right, how about the Broncos losing to the Ravens, 41-10? The Ravens are pretty good. Derrick Henry, still very good. He's over 1,000 yards already on the season. The dude's a monster, and a lot of people said he would have a drop off this season. I think he's even better this season than he was last season. The dude's a monster.
It's unreal. Yeah, I mean he's great, and Preston, all week people were talking about like why is this game 9 like Ravens -9.
Yeah,
and I should have taken it. I should put my money where my mouth is, and I was like, that's a route line. I was like, that means that Vegas thinks the Ravens are going to absolutely blow the doors off them, and that's exactly what happened. Didn't bet it. And I definitely should have. I didn't bet anything today, so it's not like I bet like 10 games and then that was like the one game I didn't bet. I just didn't bet at all today, but I would have hammered that one, and regretfully I didn't. But I think Vegas was kind of telling you with that line that they're gonna take or Ravens are gonna take care of business.
Yeah. How about the Eagles? You did mention this earlier. They do hold on and win 28-23 over the Jaguars. Jaguars, another one of those 2-win teams that's going to be in there for fighting for the number 1 pick right now at the moment. But what about the Eagles? They scored their first points in the first quarter of the season today on the touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley. Also, I don't know if you saw this, Saquon Barkley doing the hurdle over someone backwards. I've never seen that before. It was absolutely awesome. I can't wait for like Madden and NCAA to add that into the game to where you can like do that move, because it was just it was a sick move.
Yeah, and it worked too. Like he tried it and it worked. Like he made the defender miss. Yeah, no, that was an awesome play. I wasn't really paying that much attention to that one because I was just trying to watch, and we're about to talk about it, I'm sure, trying to watch my Bears.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really paying attention to that one. Then I kind of looked down and I see that the that the Jags were coming back, and at the beginning of the show, the Jags had to make a stop to get the ball back, and they didn't. The Eagles sold off to win, but that would have been an all-time hilarious collapse by the Eagles.
Yeah, it would have.
What were they up 22-0 or something like that? Like they were killing
Uh,
them.
7. Yeah, it was somewhere in there, and the
Like
Jaguars.
they were destroying him like it was nothing, and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden the Jags found life.
Jags scored 16 points in the third, and then they scored a touchdown in the fourth to get to 23. So
Yeah.
Before we get to the Bears and the Cardinals, though, let's talk about the Lions and the Packers. The Lions win 24-14. Man, they're good at football. They are really good.
They can do it all, dude. They can. I mean, on the offensive side, there's not a thing they can't do. They can pass, they can run. I mean, everyone on their offense is so damn good. And they're still obviously very much alive for a Super Bowl, but I just keep thinking if they had Aiden Hutchinson, man, like I think they would be clearly the best team in the NFL. I think they are right now top. I'd probably say they are right now the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Chiefs, probably have a word to say once the playoffs roll around. But right now, where it stands, I think they're the best team in the NFL. But I think it would be even extra leap if they were, if Aiden Hutchinson didn't unfortunately get injured. But yeah, they're really good.
Very, very, very good. So they were my pick to win the Super Bowl before the season started. I'm still feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, I would feel good about that too.
All right, how about the Bears and the Cardinals? Cardinals win that one 29-9. Here's my biggest complaint with this game. You have a stadium that has a roof. You know that there's a chance that it might rain or there might be bad weather at some point during the football game, and you choose to leave it open. And then what happens? It starts pouring rain. It starts hailing, and the roof is open. Oh, but wait, the roof, it closes. It takes like an hour to close. That thing took so long. How does that even happen?
In the desert of all places, too. The Cardinals also had a funny tweet. It's like, it's going to be a good day when the roof is open before the game started. Carlos Santos nailed a field goal while getting hailed on, which was awesome. Yeah, but Bears going to Bears. Bears going to Bears. 22 seconds, 71 yards to close. The Cardinals got a 71-yard touchdown with 22 seconds to go left in the first half to take a 21-9 lead going into halftime. Stupid penalties, stupid mistakes, stupid coaching, bad coaching, terrible coaching, awful coaching. I'm still all in on Caleb Williams. Like, my opinion is not going to change on him this season. Like, he'd have to be really bad this last stretch of the season for my opinion to change on him. Like, do I think he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady? No. Like, I don't. But do I think he's going to be a very good quarterback in this league? Yes. I think right now he's just a victim to pathetic coaching and complete incompetency. A coach that doesn't take accountability for himself, an offensive coordinator that is hit or miss on what game plan he wants to do that day, not utilizing his best players, and not great offensive line. And also the T'Vondre Sweat, or Montez Sweat for the defensive lineman, the D tackle for the Bears. He was out today. He is so impactful for that defense because without him today, that defense didn't know what to do. And I mean, he is a stud. Once he got to the Bears last year, once he traded him from Washington, that's when the defense turned around. It's been great every time he's played. He didn't play today, and it showed how impactful he was because the defense definitely had their worst game of the season. And I hope I'm wrong, and I'm completely overreacting here. The Bears might have Eberflus and co. and Waldron and co. might have lost that locker room because after last week, not taking accountability for how they lost, all the players coming out publicly, going on Chicago sports radio shows and saying like, yeah, they didn't agree with the game plan and especially how the game plan was executed in the fourth quarter, especially the final defensive drive. And I think that today was a total like, okay, you got to go out and win today. You got to respond. And they decided to do the opposite. So Bears going to Bears. Bears going to Bears.
Well, and I know you've probably seen this stat because they popped it up on the broadcast about Eberflus's road record since 2022.
3-18 now.
Yeah, 3-18. No wins on a Sunday. So if the Bears play on the road on a Sunday,
I didn't know that part.
Bet against them. They're 0-17 on the road on Sunday. So the only time they win is like on the road on a Thursday or a Monday.
And I forgot who the 3 wins on the road are quarterback wise, but it's not it's not an impressive list of quarterbacks for those 3 wins. It's like Bryce Young, whoever, it's not an impressive list at all.
Yeah. So it's bad. There in Chicago. They will they'll fire Eberflus at the end of the
Ben
season.
Johnson,
And
whatever
move on.
it takes, give
Yes.
me Ben Johnson.
I completely agree with you. All right, how about these other games right now? It's about to go in overtime. The Rams and the Seahawks are knotted up at 20. So I think that's the only other game we haven't talked about. That one not over yet. That one going to overtime. 20-28. Two teams
I
that
haven't really paid attention to this yet.
I haven't either because most of it's happened while we've been doing this show. But yeah, I don't know what to think of either of these two teams. I mean, they're 500. They're 500.
Honestly, everyone in the NFC West, I don't know what to think of.
Yeah,
because the Cardinals are now all of a sudden a good team.
Yeah, they've got.
They were good, then they were bad, and now they're good again.
They beat the Chargers. Who'd they beat last week? Was it the Chargers last week? No, the Chargers beat the Saints last week. I can tell you here. It was. So they're on like a 3-game win streak, aren't I believe so. At this, yeah, someone says Dwayne says go Birds in the chat. Yeah, they beat Miami last week by a point. So they went 2 games in a row where they won by a point and 2 points. And then they beat the Bears by 20 today. So
I got 20 piece twice this weekend.
Hey, you can only go up from here, right? I think that's
I'm texting my Bears OSU buddy that exact quote right now.
He got 20 piece twice this weekend.
We got 20 piece twice this year. Also, I think I'm going to quit football.
Yeah, you're done
until tomorrow.
See, this weekend has brought me even closer to football, right? Because everything's went right for me this weekend.
Must feel good.
But I know that that's probably going to change in the near future. So
you gotta enjoy it while you got it.
Exactly.
Go to work tomorrow with a smile on your face.
Exactly. The game tonight. Where'd it go? I just had it here in front of me. It was the Colts and the Vikings. Colts not good. Flacco will be starting for him though. Vikings good. We'll see. The Vikings coming off a loss, right? So we'll see if they can bounce back in that one. Yeah, that's right. 2 losses in a row. So we'll see. I think the Vikings clear in that one easily. I think they win that one. I mean, they're a 6-point favorite right now.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this game. I'm going to watch a little bit of it. Like I said, I'm going to go to bed early tonight after the long weekend I had. I say that, then I'll probably be – I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to go get some dinner. I'm going to probably watch it the first half. I'm going to tell my room I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to
lay in bed and watch the rest of the game.
And I'll be cuddled up on my phone, just watching like that unless it's a blowout or something. But
yeah,
I can already foresee my future.
All right, what about the Bucks and the Chiefs? I think the Chiefs obviously they're a 9-point favorite.
Chiefs are going to lose eventually, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, man, the Buccaneers.
Not this weekend. They are so beat up right now.
Yeah, I would love it to happen because I personally hate the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen this week, and I think it'll be later on down the road.
Yeah.
At some point. So we'll see. And then
I'm just going to say that every week until the Chiefs lose.
Yeah, they got to lose at some point.
They got to lose eventually, right?
Yes, they have to lose eventually. And then we would be remiss if we didn't talk about our lovely Thunder. 6-0, and they've beaten everybody by at least 12 points so far this season. They play the Magic tomorrow night at home at 8:15. How about them Thunder?
How about them? Real quick with the Magic, man, it sucks Paulo Banchero got hurt because he was off to a phenomenal start, and he's going to be, they said, reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks, so he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, that's reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks means probably 2
after Christmas, New Year somewhere.
So that sucks. I've kind of grown to kind of like the Magic because I feel like they're kind of building kind of with the Thunder. It's a young, fun team. Get some veterans in there to help them along the way. Even though the Thunder have just gone completely young this year, which has worked out. But yeah, man, I didn't watch the game any last night. I caught the second half of the Portland game at a bar on Saturday, and it was really funny because I had friends in town. I should have just been enjoying life, drinking with them. Instead of watching Game 5 of the Oklahoma City Thunder, but instead I was literally just sitting there by a TV for an
Yeah.
hour, just watching the game. I was like, if you
I
guys
would
want
have
to
been
come
doing
up,
the same thing.
it's like if you guys want to come up and talk to me, I'll be here. Like
Yeah.
I'm not
Like,
leaving
this
spot.
right now is more important to me.
Thunder are tied right now, and then they just come back. Then last night they're down 14, and they come back and win by 13.
Yeah.
I mean, man, the second half, the way they can just turn it on, just like, all right, we're not messing around anymore, is so impressive. I mean, off of back-to-back last night too, they could have easily just been like, all right, we're 5-0. Like, let's just get home. Yeah, let's just get home. But they're like, nah, they're gonna go back to Oklahoma City with a win.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So
which they should. They're 24-something years old is the average age.
Yeah.
They should be able to play it back to back.
Yeah.
We don't have LeBron and AD walking around out here for the Thunder. So, yeah, again, tomorrow, 8:15 at home, Thunder play. Obviously, you can hear that on the Sports Animal.
Why is it at 8:15? It's on a national TV game.
It's not. I thought it might have been like an NBA TV game.
Maybe it's on NBA TV then.
Which again means that it will be blacked out here in Oklahoma City, so you will have to watch on FanDuel Sports Network.
Usually, doesn't it say?
So,
hold on, let me go to the Thunder.
It's not ESPN or TNT, obviously. So it's either NBA TV.
See, but it says NBA TV, like Thunder Kings. November 25th. That says NBA TV on it. It doesn't tomorrow for
maybe this is just a weird start time. Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
I was thinking the same thing because I do not like that start time.
Yeah, that sucks for you.
Especially on a Monday. But yeah, all right. Thunder tomorrow night. And we'll be back with you guys on Tuesday for our election night special.
Yeah.
We'll
have all the Pennsylvania and Wisconsin coverage for you guys.
No, but we will talk some football and stuff like that on Tuesday night.
Get your escape from all that BS.
We'll be up 7 p.m. Tuesday night. We'll talk for a little bit, chat with you guys. But until then, everyone have a safe, calm, storm-free night before they ramp back up tomorrow morning. And we can finally end this spell of storms. So stay good, everyone, and we'll be back with you on Tuesday.